So much oil. It's everywhere and on everything. Look at that, dripping off the bell housing. It's on the exhaust. It's on the cylinder heads. It's on the air conditioner, subframe, oil pan, more exhaust, motor mounts. It's gonna take gallons of brake clean to clean this off. Cat converter that's covered in it. Man, it's not okay. Hello viewers, good day to you and welcome back. I am Raymond and this is Ray's Repairs. We are sitting in a 2014 Chrysler 200 model. This vehicle was towed in on a flatbed tow truck a couple days ago with 68,473 miles on the odometer. Customer had stated there's a massive engine oil leak and that it had overheated, and he thinks that it blew up some coolant or a coolant hose or something of that nature. Now we pushed this thing into the shop because it did have an Exxon Valdez oil slick behind it on the tow truck. So we have chosen not to start the engine and run this. We already have it inside of the shop. It's up on the lift. The hood is open. Let's go down below and inspect for our Exxon Valdez style oil leak. Here in our engine compartment, we have yet another appearance of the 3.6 liter Pentastar engine. One of the unique features about this particular engine is the engine oil cooling system. If we look right here, this little cap is the oil filter housing. And if we look past that, way down in the hole there, we're gonna see a bunch of liquid inside of the valley. There's looks like oil, maybe some coolant and oil. Either way, something down inside of this engine under the intake manifold has sprung a massive leak, and we've run out of oil and we've run out of coolant. Mostly. Yeah, that engine oil level is super low. I hope this engine survived. My customer stated that while it was running, it did not lose oil pressure and start making noise. So we're gonna take their word for it. I'm not gonna start it, I'm not gonna run it. What we're going to do is pull this intake manifold off and see what blew up down there. So stay tuned because this is going to be a very good video. Opening the hood. Oh, look who that guy is. Okay, so we already have the replacement component ordered and unboxed mostly. We have a cooler assembly that goes in that valley. This is our oil filter adapter right here with the oil cooler. There is coolant and engine oil that is pumped through this manifold device right here. It came with a whole set of new gaskets to seal this unit, and it's got a really nice orange high visibility cap. I've never seen one of these guys that has the cap on it. This happens to be a Dorman part. This is a known issue with these factory components. The originals are actually made out of plastic, and they have a remarkably high failure rate. So Dorman has elected to make one out of cast aluminum, and it is supposed to solve this problem. The reason that we went with this higher end component as opposed to the Mopar version is in the vehicle, that is the second one of these oil filter housing / oil cooler assemblies that has been replaced on this exact car. It's a Pentastar thing, that's just what they do. Also, in the box here, we have gotten or received a replacement filter. So the way this system works is this filter is going to snap into our cap, and then that goes down into the filter body and then screws in after we put the O-ring on, of course. Which, since we're here, I guess I'll just do that right now. That way I don't forget. If you don't have this O-ring, then this cap will leak everywhere, especially on an aluminum housing. So you've got to put the O-rings on the oil filter caps. And that goes for any cartridge style oil filter. The O-ring is what makes the seal, not the tightness of the cap. It's gonna go in like so. And then once it's torqued down, the O-ring makes the seal, and that is that. We're gonna hold off on that point, or on that, I'm tightening this for right now. I want to get everything in position down there and mocked up before we finalize everything. Plus, I'm going to blow this out with a bunch of air just to make sure that there's no dirt and debris or contaminants, things of that nature, inside of the system. Okay, this unit has been thoroughly examined for contaminants inside, metal shavings and dirt and things of that nature. None were found. I blew it out with some air. So what we need to do next is slap some of these little gaskets in here. These are going to be the seal for this cooler block device right here. And then this guy ultimately will become bolted onto the top of this manifold. And I think these are the fasteners. So I suppose we just go ahead and get this installed right now. It looks like a Torx 30 bit. So let us get started on this. Got a Torx 30, a little bit of Loctite for good measure. I hate to have this thing fail because the thread's backed out. That would not be okay. We're gonna thread these guys in, and then we'll give them a couple love taps with a 1/4" impact. Send them home, and then we'll go ahead and disassemble the car and get these things on. Now we can see how that's not sitting flush. That is because that gasket material has yet to be compressed in between these two components. Get that one on there. How many more do we have? 3 more? Here, let's speed this up. We'll do Loctite in mass. That's number 2. Last one here. There we go. A little bit of torque action. We'll be all set here. Click. Okay, our manifold has its little cooler assembly installed and gasketed. Let's go ahead and head over to the car. We'll get that upper intake plenum removed, and then we can pull this unit out and replace it. We'll pull the old unit out and then replace it with this new upgraded super high performance unit. Let's get to it. Okay, time to get started. Now, I guess the best place is at the beginning, so we need to get the air intake equipment removed here. You can see we've got some breakage here already in this PCV hose. The nipple's been broken off. It could use a replacement air box, I suppose, because of that. Let's get the tubing off. We'll get this intake section off right here, and then we can disconnect all of our hoses and wires from the manifold, get this guy unbolted, and then removed and lifted away from its position. So I'm thinking we'll just unbolt this air box, get this guy removed. I see a drywall screw. You guys know how I feel about drywall screws on cars. Wow, that screw wasn't even screwed into the other side. It was running in sideways, and I just dropped one. No worries, I'll put a drywall screw in to replace it. I mean, if that's the standard for automotive repair, then so be it. Why not? Come on, drywall screw. I can see why it got lost, because you can't really reach the thing from down in that little hole there. I understand how it fell down and disappeared. Okay. Let's see here. This guy is supposed to turn, and it's not. Come out. Air filter lid. There we go. How's our filter looking? Beautimous. Okay, save that for later. Okay, looking off to the right some, we've got a couple electrical connectors here. This one is to the evap purge solenoid. It sends manifold vacuum down into the fuel tank and recovers vapors inside of the tank. So let's get this thing disconnected here. Push that connector down and it should open up. Should. A little more. Come out. You know what? I have another idea. We'll leave it attached. It's probably less risky. There we go. Solve that problem. You go down there. Okay, and around the back side of our manifold, we've got a pressure sensor. I think that's the manifold pressure sensor. We've got our throttle body connector right here. Let's get that guy out. And then an intake air temperature sensor right there in the back. Stick that thing aside. Now, let's pull our little clip pin. It's a push pin clip. Pull that guy up and out. I need a smaller little pry device to the toolbox. That's the small one. There we go. There's a larger one and a smaller one. We need the smaller one to get on there. You pull the center of the clip up. We pull that out, and that's been, oh, how clever. It's been zip tied on because it was broken. Okay, yeah, whoever was here in a past life kind of didn't do so hot. Okay, well, regardless, we're starting to get some access to all of our fasteners for our manifold here. We've got two on the front side. There's a little bolt right there, another little bolt right there, and then I'm thinking unclip that, stick that out of the way. I'm thinking that's all that's really left. It's kind of securing this unit here. That is a PCV hose right there going to the rear valve cover. Push that guy back. Come off. Wiggle. There we go. Oh, look, another little bracket. I need to not neglect that either. That's holding this thing down to the rear cylinder head. Okay. So we're looking for a 10mm ratcheting wrench. That's going to get those nuts off that secure the brackets on the front side of this manifold here. It's that one and that one. Now, although these are secure with just a couple of these nuts, the issue is there's actually a stud that's threaded into the plastic here. I'm going to have to remove that stud as well, because the stud is going to continue to capture the section of the manifold inside of the bracket. Drop that too. Now I see why the last time I touched one of these Pentastars there was bolts everywhere. It's either that or I'm Butterfingers today. As always. Butterfingers. Let's get this one off. This is also why mechanics have boxes and boxes of parts, just in case. Because we drop things and we lose things. There, I got one. So now I need to get like an E, I think that's an E7 or an E8, and pull those studs out as well. The E is in reference to the socket type. See, this is there's a Torx bit right there that's got the 5 points on it, 6 points. Well, an E socket is the inverted of a Torx. See that? And that is what you're going to find on the end of most studs is an inverted Torx. And that's an E6 there. So we'll get this guy onto a flexing ratchet, and we can just come down and back that stud out. Oh no, no I can't. Oh, what? They cheated. There is a like a washer on the end of that stud right there, and it's going to prevent that stud from coming out of the bracket. That's not what I thought I remembered on this particular job. Okay, well, let's move on to the remainder of our little 10mm fasteners back here. We've got two more on this bracket. We're gonna grab that bolt right there, nut. Get that one, and then there's the one right next to it, right there. I'm gonna have to pull one of these brackets off or bend something. Oh, look, that stud's coming out. Okay. That's good. You see that? That means the last time this was reassembled, they put that stud in the wrong order. But that's good for me. I will accept that. And they didn't tighten down the bottom of this bracket. See it moving around? Epic fail. Oh well, that's good for me, because now I can squeeze this unit out. Good. Okay, let's back it up. We will get the, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bolts that, maybe 8 bolts that secure this manifold down to the lower intake. 8mm coming in. last one. Okay, those are captured, so I shouldn't have to worry about them falling out. And I think that's all of them. Yep, sure is. So let's clear that stud, pull this guy up. I think we're pretty much free here. Anything else in the back connecting us? Yes, we have one hose right back over here. See that guy? Gotta get that thing removed. So let's move that. Give this a twist to break that surface adhesion. Then we'll come back in behind it with the little pry driver and pull that guy right off. That's how we do that without breaking the plastic. There we go. Okay, manifold coming with us. Up and out. New gaskets. Those are going to be replaced anyway. Let's just put this thing right over there out of the way. And as for these guys, we'll pluck these out as well. Pocket driver. Good. Come here, gasket. Come out. That's odd. These are green and the others are blue. I wonder if these things were changing colors. There we go. Get rid of those gaskets. We have new ones over there in the kit. That goes there. And now we need to pull this lower manifold up and out because our cooler assembly is down below it. That means we need to pull our ignition coils and disconnect those guys, as well as the fuel injectors. It's all gotta go. Both banks, front and rear, because there are bolts for this lower manifold under the this wiring harness here. Let's get rid of this clip that secures the harness to the valve cover. We'll pop that guy out. One right next to it, get rid of that. Now we can start to see our fuel injector connectors, which are not connected very well either. They have these red little locking clips. That one was not depressed. There's a lot not done properly at this job. I hope the guy who did this last is not watching, because they might feel bad about themselves. It's not the goal here. Yeah, get in there. Pick up on that. Press the tab, pull the injector. There we go. One more clip off to the right. Get under that one, pull you out. There we go. So now we've exposed all three injectors on this side, and then more importantly, we've got a hold of the fasteners. So moving around to the back, repeat the same procedure here. Move it on over. And starting with our coils, we can disconnect these guys. That one there. One harness retainer clip. Pull that guy out of its mount. Its counterpart next to it, or adjacent to. That can be the vocab word of the day, adjacent. Okay, got those guys off. Let's get the injector connectors next. Okay, one red clip on the back. They managed to push these clips down. So all of those were secured on this back side, but not the front side ones. I wonder if our guy was in a hurry. I'm not bashing the guy or anything, but there's just some details here that were left out. Normally, nobody would matter, or it wouldn't matter. It only matters when someone else comes in and finds the error. One more little retainer, there we go. And in this case, we have found the error. And it's not just one guy that found it, there's like 100,000 of us that found it. Yeah, numbers. Okay. So now, this entire lower manifold assembly has been electronically disconnected. What we're going to do is unbolt it, pick it up, lay it off to the side. I'm gonna try to not open up the fuel system just because it'll spray fuel everywhere, and I just don't want to do that. That'll be my shortcut. Neutral drop. That one is loose. Okay, that thing is disconnected with the exception of one more piece of plastic here. Hang on, that's the wrong one. This one, see that guy? I missed a clip. There it is. Now, you can pull this guy up. You hear what I said? Up. Up, up, and off to the side and away-ish. And that's what we're looking for. This guy down here, look at that. That's nasty in there. Epically nasty. It's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Definitely see like an oil, coolant, sludgy kind of mix here. So that definitely tells me, and there's water in there also. I see a lot of water. It definitely tells me that this thing is 100% leaking, and it has leaked down all around the back of the engine, down the side of it. The thing's been dripping everywhere, so this is our culprit. Let's go ahead and get this thing unbolted, disconnected from its pressure sensors here. There's a pressure, I think those are pressure and temp sensors for oil. Might be coolant. I think it could be coolant. One of those two. Anyway, we're gonna get these guys disconnected. We have to transfer those sensors over to our new aluminum manifold, and then we can get this thing bolted back in and reinstalled and all fixed up. So, one more little red guy here. Pull that guy out, disconnect. And that one's also missing its little locking clip. Pull that guy out, set you aside, and we're going to have to unscrew that hose clamp right there. Pull that thing out as well. Got it. Yeah, that guy's loose. Hose looks like it's gonna come off, no problem. Okay, that hose is super spongy. Okay, we've got an E8 coming in. That is going to remove the Torx fasteners that secure this manifold down to the intake valley. I'm probably not gonna be so violent on these ones as I was the others because some of these are boogered up a little bit, and I do not want to round them off. Unclick. See, for example, that one's way tighter than its counterpart. Does not feel good either. Oh, you better be okay. That didn't feel very good at all. We'll have to take a look at that in a minute. Unclick that one. This one's kind of rounded off also. I don't like that. One more on the back. That one looks okay. All right. Are you free? Are you loose? Are you loose and free? And something's not letting go here. What is problem? Probably nothing. It just needs a bunch of wiggle action to come out of there. Maybe some pry bar business. There's a nipple that sticks down into this intake valley from this side here, and that's the oil return. I think that's what's just what's hanging us up here. We'll get a side load on it. Yeah, it's that nipple on my left side. We'll just keep on giving it the wiggle treatment till it comes out, or until I break it, whichever comes first. Ow. It could have hurt. pry up, come out. There it goes. Pry bar to the wind at all times. Kinda, yep. Okay, there it is. That's our affected junk unit. Oh, look at that. Oil was running out of it right through here. Okay. Let's get a towel and get this thing out of here. Contaminants. Gross. Look at that. So much of it. Well, the NOx sensors are underwater. Down the holes, everything. That's supposed to be coolant. That one's coolant. That's water. They should have drain holes in these things, considering how often they fail. One more chamber right over here. Suction that one out. Suction out the bolt holes. Cannot have fluid inside the bolt holes because then the bolts will bottom out and they'll break off. Nasty. Okay. Time for super shiny. It's all oil, water, frothy, nasty mix in there. We don't want any of that. Okay, that's pretty good. We suction the rest of this out, clean it up some, give it a good wipe down. Then I'll clean these surfaces off, and we'll get to the installation segment of our replacement component. Goodbye overflow brake clean. Suction the rest of that out. I'm gonna pull this hose out next. Worldpac had one down the street and I have ordered it, so I should get that thing fairly certain. I cannot in good conscience put this thing back together with this oil-soaked, squishy, mushy, non-hose kind of thing here. That's just not going to work out. So I had to order a replacement. Here, it's been disconnected on the other side. We've got a little clip right here hanging on to it. We'll pry that guy out. There. Whoa, you guys super fell that time. Let's pull this thing out of its home. Goodbye. Yeah, look at that. That is not okay. We're not reusing that. Nope. Okay, let's head over back to the bench and we can do a transfer of components, mainly these sensors, from our old unit over here to our new unit. So we've got one temp sensor on the top here. Come out, please. There we go. Back this guy right on off. We're gonna have to put some Teflon tape on it or something like that. Reseal it. And this guy, unpickage. There we go. Very good. Let's get this leaky piece of junk out of here. Goodbye. Okay, this one's gonna go right there. We're gonna plug you in. I threw some sealant on the threads, that way it cannot leak. Let's get this guy tightened to a reasonable amount. They don't go in all the way. You do not bottom them out. If you try, you'll break them off. But you make them good and tight, as per spec. There we go. That one's good there. I'm comfortable with that. And now for our coolant tank. Screw this guy right on in. And same thing, we tighten it down. It does not have to go all the way. And I don't know if I want to do one more turn or leave that alone. That feels pretty good and it's pointed the right way. Okay, so now we're ready to get this thing bolted back into position. We can see all of the O-rings are where they're supposed to be. There's an O-ring on our drain tube there. We need some lubricant around that O-ring so it does not tear when it gets pushed down into that bore right there. So let's just get some dielectric on that so it slides in nice, just like so. There we go. Let's get this thing down into its new home here. I love how I pushed that off to the side and it just went right back. Yeah, defiant little creatures. Wiggle that guy down. It's in the bore. Good. Need to move that wire. Look at that guy. It's trapped in between the housing. There it is. It could have been bad. Okay, this thing's in position here. Let's get our bolts in and tighten this unit down. 5 Torx fasteners coming in. Making sure that wire is clear. That one. One more out back. There it is. Okay, now I didn't thread those by hand because they're far away, so I'm just going to use my e-Torx and an extension to start the threads. We're going to pay attention to this one here because that one came out pretty rough. I didn't really appreciate it. I think it'll go in okay. All right, that's good. Let's actually begin to apply some torque here. All of those O-rings are starting to compress now. There we go. Okay, oil filter's coming in. I've got some dielectric on the O-ring, a little bit more down here on that bottom O-ring so that stuff all seats properly. We'll slide this thing down with its orange cap and its new warning label that specifies the appropriate filter. Again, this is an upgraded unit to the next year model. So let us get this guy nice and tight. Again, we don't tighten it down to maximum possible capacity. We just tighten it down until it seats because the O-ring is what actually creates the seal. So now we're bottomed out and all right, intermission over. X amount of time has passed and I have received a replacement Mopar coolant bypass tube thing, device, hose that is gonna plug into this unit right here, and it's gonna plug in right down here too. I put some dielectric inside of this to help it slide on. There's that side, and let's get this other back side slid. Put that guy on there. Oh, more. There we go. All the way. So now I need to remove this little yellow clip retainer things. Just gonna pry that out some. Come here, clip. Come off. Yeah, that's on there good. I'll give it a twist action. There we go. Pop that guy right off, and then we'll do the same for that one here. Let's give her a twist. Give it more twist, please. There we go. And that's gonna live down there forever. Okay, let's take the hose and secure it to the top of the valley right there with that little plug. Now, I need to plug in my coolant temp sensor. No, that's oil pressure. Plug in oil pressure, and then this one is coolant temp. Pickage. All right, we're in good shape here. Now it's time to go ahead and get this lower manifold reinstalled. I've already taken the liberty of removing the old gaskets and I installed the new ones that came with the oil cooler assembly. So let's just swing this guy right on over. Set her down in position here, and then get her bolted in. Alrighty, I've already started these guys by hand, so we're gonna run them down and begin to torque them. Less aggressively than the way I remove them. Make sure they're all threaded. That's good. Good. Okay. Let's start getting some torque here. Very nice. All right, we're good here. I got them all. Yep, sure did. Let us go ahead and get our wiring harnesses, wiring harness, back in position here. Is that the plural? Is it harnesses, or can we use harness? Pretty sure we can't say harness, but it is kind of fun. Okay, now this time around, we're gonna push those little red safety clip things, retainers, whatever, back into place. Unlike the last time, sorry last guy, I don't mean to make that much fun of you, just a little bit. There we go, coils are on, that's good, good, good. This one plugs in there. This guy right here, that's our injector harness for the back. Snap all these guys into their positions. I love this part, it's the home stretch part, the nearly completed part. The gratifying part. Okay, all those guys are on. This is the stuff for the throttle body up top, so we don't need that. But we do need 6 more gaskets right here. Upper manifold coming in. We need to mind the 2 studs that go into these 2 brackets on the front of the engine right here. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring her in. We're gonna start with the 2 studs and get those in the holes, and then just kind of hinge this thing down, pushing that other bracket in the back clear and out of the way. Making sure our fasteners are clear and out of the way, and we're not really aligned properly just yet here. Now we are. There we go, okay. So, I will now thread up the remaining fasteners. Now, these ones cannot be over torqued because these fasteners thread into the plastic of that lower manifold, so extra care must be taken. And I forgot something, front row, the insulation, this little foam padding right here, look at that. Love my job so much, I'm gonna do it twice. Intake, back out. Again. Dang, sorry to bore you guys, don't click away. Please don't click away, no, don't leave me. Don't leave me here all by myself. There. Trying it again. This thing goes here. There. It's always in the details. Now again, got our little studs. Poking them through the little holes. Hinge it down. Pull that guy aside. We're lined up again. Start the bolts again. And then we can torque that thing down again. That one has started. This one is started. That one's good. That one's good. Make sure they all get started first. Okay. Very nice. Okay, we got one of our 10 mil nuts. It goes there. This one threads in right over here. We'll tighten those down in a moment. There's another 10 mil nut right there. And the one that I dropped has been recovered from down below. That guy goes on right there. Become tight now, please. The bolt is trying to turn. There we go. Clickage. That one there. Come out. And then its counterpart off to the right here. I might just get that with the open end. Seems a little tough to get my ratcheting side onto that. A little more. There we go. Clicks. Okay, let's get the back side next. Click. That one. We've got our PCV hose that goes in right there. This guy, I forgot where that goes. How about right there? There we are. And then this plugs in right here. Pickage. All right, that guy's in. We're all set up here. Bracketry is good. Let's get our throttle body connector reconnected. That goes right there so it stays safe. This one plugs in right here. And this guy goes in our intake tube, same as this one here. Okay. Slip that unit in. Now, although that little blue push pin thing that we took note of earlier is broken, it still is capable of supporting this section of this airbox, so I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to put it back the way I found it, because I can still use it to hold that thing down for what it's worth. There, that one goes there. Where did this thing plug in? I'm missing something. That plugs in there. Oh, the evap system purge solenoid, that's where it goes. I remember now. A little farther down on this, there. Now we're good, okay. That guy is in position. Let's tighten down the clamp that's on it, and then we can get the rest of the piping installed. 8 mil socket coming in right there. That's our clamp. And time for the purge valve. That slides right over. Come here. A little bracket right here. Please come here. There. Then we plug it in, snap that on, and then our vacuum hose goes right to that little port on top of the intake there. So that's all set up. This is good. Let us get our screwdriver out of there, get the air filter back in its position here. And we'll take our piping for our intake, slide that back over the big baffle box. Then we'll twist it, groove it, and set it down in position, screw it back in. And look what I have located. Extra screws to fasten it with. Now we don't have to use the drywall screws, because I don't like drywall screws on cars. Those are horrible. So, set that right there. Down in the hole. Gotta rev it up. Okay, that's one started. That's the hole that had the drywall screw in it. And then that hole in the back, that's the one that had the screw sideways. It did not even thread into the bottom part of the box. Yeah, that was an epic failure. Got it. That one's tight. The front one is now tight. Good to go. Let's get one more hose in position here. Plug that guy in the way we found it. And snap Then these guys are going to clip into the manifold just to secure that PCV hose. Okay, good to go here. We need to refill the oil, refill the coolant, and then drain the oil, whatever's left in the crankcase. And I don't think there's much in there. We need to drain that, refill both fluids, and then we can start the engine and see if this thing's gonna live. Set that right there. Let's get all my goodies off the wiper cowl and under the hood area and whatnot. And then we'll get this thing raised up and drain the oil out of it. I'll take that. I'll take this. There we go. All right, to our black subscribe button. Moving on up. Yes, my clever usage of actual buttons for subscribe buttons is my cute little way of reminding all of the new viewers here to consider subscribing to the channel. That way you do not miss out on any future content. All right, let's go fetch the oil drain, pull our drain plug here, and see how much comes out. Probably not a lot. It did not have any oil when it got here. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep the drain pan rolling. It's gonna take a lot of brake clean to clean all this oil off. Look at that. That's a whole lot of oil. Dang. It's everywhere. Leaking on everything. Okay, let's see what's left inside of the drain pan here. Unclickage. Or the oil pan, rather. Let's see what's left in the oil pan. Cannot get my vocabulary to coordinate properly. That's brand new oil. See that? I guess that's good. They must have put oil in it to keep it alive. Not much in there. A couple quarts maybe. Okay. While we wait, we can hose this thing off. Goodbye, crusty oil. This is why I didn't waste brake clean the other day. Now I can waste it over here. Yeah! Yeah, AC compressor. Oh no! Running out! Oh no, it's all over with! Another! Okay, enough screwing around. Let's get our drain plug back in. Put some torque on this thing, then we can refill. We do not have to pull the filter off and change it because we already did that when we removed the oil cooler assembly. Click.
Engine oil coming in. No need for a funnel. I have a spout. Got I think I took 5.5 quarts in our jug here. I'll give it 5 so we can start it and check it. It might be a 6-quart engine. I don't recall. Yes, I could look up the specs, but I can also just put in 5 quarts and then check it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Or fill an engine. Or empty an engine, for that matter. There's many ways to do many things. Let's see what we've got here on our dipping stick. And the survey says it has not reached the line yet, so I'm going to fill the rest of this thing up. Then we're going to start it and see if it's junk. It could be blown up. There we go. Gonna need another quart. So it's like a 6.2 quart engine.
Encore round 2. That's 2 en français in French. Je parle français. There we go. Here my BG snake oil coolant's coming in. Let's refill this thing. It's not in a BG jug. It's in my comes from a 55-gallon drum, and I just use these jugs to transfer. But hey, since the cleaners are snake oil and the transmission fluid services are snake oil, I guess the oil is snake oil. It's oil made from snakes. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, moment of truth. Let's hop into the cabin, restarting the engine. Whoa, let's see if I can squeeze in here. And we'll check it for leaks. Beginning engine starting sequence. Yeah, a little noisy, but it also did not have much oil pressure. I had to prime everything, so a little noisy on startup. Let's check it for Exxon Valdez geyser type of situation here. Make sure we're not spewing oil out of the bottom of it. And that's looking good. Those drips over there, I think that's AC water or coolant that I spilled. Let's take a look down in the valley. And that's not filling up with oil or coolant. This is good. Let's check the back side of the valley here. No coolant, no oil from what I can see. I hear no vacuum leaks. This is also good. All right, I just need to let this kind of come up to temp a little bit. We'll check the levels after it stabilizes. I did recover the cap. It was down inside of that hole right there and in the fender, so I managed to get that thing out. But yeah, so far I think we're good to go here, guys. This is a successful repair as far as I can tell at this point forward. So having said that, I realize this video has run a little bit longer than normal, so I'm going to go ahead and close this video out right now. There's really no need to test drive this right now because it has to stay up on the rack. I need to do a little bit more cleaning down below with all that oil stuff, and there's a few other things we're going to check out on this car. So having said that, again, and as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video on this Chrysler 200. Let me know if you have a Chrysler 200 or a Pentastar 3.6 liter and this situation has ever happened to you. Comment down below what it took to deal with that and what you had experienced when your vehicle failed. While you're down there, do not forget to tap the like button. And most importantly, everybody here, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in the video, in the Chrysler 200, in the 3.6 liter Pentastar, in the day, in the transmission.